Welcome everybody. Today at Maison Gerald Charles we are at Vaucher Manufacture in Fleurier, where the new Tourbillon caliber took birth. And we are today with Octavio Garcia, our creative director, who designed this new Tourbillon caliber for Gerald Charles.
Federico, thanks. Excited to be here, excited to share this novelty with everyone.
So I want everybody to know why this Tourbillon is so special. First of all, it complies with the Fleurier quality standards of end finishing and to the Vaucher standards of shock resistant. So this movement has been extensively tested to resist to very high shocks, up to 5 Gs. And it doesn't look delicate, like a tourbillon is a classic watch, is a very complex mechanical complication, but at the same time, like we always wanted Gerald Charles, it is shock resistant, it is wearable easily. It is also resistant to water at 100 meters, so you can swim with it, you can wear it every day, basically.
Absolutely.
And why the tourbillon is so special as a complication in general?
Well, the tourbillon is a historical complication that dates back almost 300 years. Since then, a lot of evolutions have taken place. The tourbillon from Vaucher Manufacture, as you mentioned, is robust. It also has some key technical evolutions that I find very interesting, notably the cage, which is in full titanium, which gives it much more lightweightness, which allows for better functionality and precision overall.
Talking about functionality, something that you don't find in every tourbillon, our tourbillon cage also tells the seconds. So it's a 60 seconds tourbillon, and we included an indicator like small seconds at 6 o'clock.
I would say that that's actually the heart of the design for this particular project. As you know, Federico, there was a lot of debate and discussion around the design of this tourbillon, and ultimately we came to the conclusion that we would put at the heart of the design of the tourbillon the logo of Gérald Charles.
And this logo has been designed by Gérald Genta himself when he founded and designed for Gerald Charles. So it's very important for us now to keep it alive. And in this case, it has been adapted to technically match the technical needs of the tourbillon.
Yes. So there, as you can imagine, with the tourbillon cage, there's a lot of constraints. And so for this particular exercise, we were able to maintain the overall formal language of the logo, also keep its principal functionality as a second hand that indicates 60 seconds, a rotation of 60 seconds, and at the same time give watchmakers the accessibility necessary by adapting the design to the functionality of the piece.
Absolutely. And you've gone through many iterations. As I can see here, the cage was not from day one the same.
Correct.
How many iterations?
Correct. So here the process was quite smooth. There was a lot of interaction between us, but I would say that in general we went through about 20 different forms in order to get to the principal idea of using the Gérald Charles logo.
Here I can see still the hexagonal shape that we also find on the oscillating weight.
Correct.
Of the tourbillon.
Correct. Yeah, so this honeycomb pattern, which is now an element that is going across all of the different Gérald Charles products, is effectively something that I examined also for the tourbillon cage. But ultimately, we realized that it's something that should be used on the oscillating mass, and it really works beautifully on the mass, on this 22 karat gold mass. It really sits proudly on the case back of the movement.
So we have gold in the mass. We have also the bridge that holds the tourbillon from the backside, which is in yellow gold,
right,
and gives some contrast to the rose gold of the mass. So to create a little bit of depth and dynamism in the movement.
Correct.
And oscillating weight means it is an automatic caliber. We have 50 hours of power reserve. We have double barrels to keep the reserve longer, because the tourbillon, of course, is using a lot of energy to run correctly.
Yes, absolutely. And also it also enhances the precision of the tourbillon. The fact that you have this constant power feeding the movement makes for, again, a very solid and precise movement.
So why we developed tourbillon as the next complication for Maison Gerald Charles? We promised to introduce one new complication every year to build up the collection. But why we decided to develop a tourbillon caliber? Because it perfectly fits the design of the Maestro case, which has this very good opening at 6 o'clock, a round opening, which opens up more room, more space, a natural space for the tourbillon cage to be inserted. And this is how the Maestro case from Gérald Genta himself was initially designed, because as you know very well, the ancient models of Gerald Charles, the museum pieces, very often and initially hosted a tourbillon complication. Yes. So it is our history, it is Gerald Charles' history, and Gerald Genta thought this case to be for complications. And the tourbillon, which is one of the most important complications, finds its perfect fit into this round opening. And this is why, after many requests, I have to say, from our collectors, saying you should use this opening more, you should do something to fill this opening, to fill this gap, and we're finally releasing the tourbillon. So important to remark that this tourbillon is our in-house development. We develop it with Vaucher manufacturer. It is a fully manufactured movement.
The collaboration with Vaucher manufacturer has been exceptional, and as always, true to form, they really allowed us to create the tourbillon that we wanted, and really create something that's personal and that brings forth the new formal language of the Gerald Charles collection.
So this cage of the tourbillon, we said, is in titanium to make it lighter.
Correct.
While the watch case outside is in stainless steel, medical grade, to comply to the sporty elegant standards of Gerald Charles, which brings into the future, which keeps the legacy of sporty elegant watches that was started by our founder, Gerald Charles Genta.
That's one thing that I find really beautiful about this particular exercise, is that you have this very elegant, unique shape in stainless steel with a sleek profile and a precious tourbillon movement inside. This beautiful contrast between sportiness and elegance is what I think is the fundamental charm of this collection, of this piece.
And in this tourbillon, we also modified the indexes from the standard indexes of Gerald Charles, which are more round usually, and also the hands, which remind me the hands of the skeleton watch, which you also designed. So why this squared shape, and why these indexes and hands?
So for the dial, I really wanted the dial to be a bit more integrated with the shape of the dial opening. The Maestro has a very particular design, a very particular shape. So by giving the indexes more direction, more definition, I feel that you read even better this beautiful, unique shape of the case. So that's the fundamental reason why I went in this direction.
Which makes
sleek.
Which makes perfect
sleek
sense.
Design, yeah.
Which fits very well, and the contrast between the round angles of the case and the squared angles of the indexes gives a very good, I think, balance and a lot of dynamics to this caliber.
Indeed.
So talking about technical features of this movement, we have a 4 Hz movement. As we said, it's an automatic caliber. It has 50 hours of power reserve with a double barrels. We also have a special finishing with Côte de Genève with vertical stripes.
Correct.
which is our own finishing that we decided to use for this movement in particular. And I remember when you told me where you took the inspiration from these vertical stripes, and I really loved it. So I would like now everybody to know where you took the inspiration from.
So effectively, ultimately, the idea was to bring the piece closer to Gérald Genta, the man, and this notion of a Swiss watch designer with Italian heritage, a very elegant person. I began to think about other crafts in Italy that are really well known, like tailoring, and this idea of a beautifully cut pinstripe suit came to mind. And so the vertical Côte de Genève is a tighter length from one côte to another, and it evokes a bit this idea of beautiful Italian tailoring.
Fantastic! I love that. I love this idea, and I think it perfectly fits the DNA of Gerald Charles. Thank you, Octavio. Thank you for your time. I hope everybody will enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Octavio. Thank you, my dear.